What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's the experience. It's 9:18 p.m. Central Time here in San Antonio. I am Drew, and with me, as always,
Justin from Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com.
all right, and we have a pretty short show tonight. We might be able to get out in under an hour. Not really heavy or a wrestling news heavy week this week. Really, just one bit of news and maybe a few other things. But for the most part, just reviewing shows and also doing our SummerSlam predictions for this. So let's get that out of the way. SmackDown last week. Remember, SmackDown for the past few weeks has been very what do you call it? Not bad shows, but more just like setting up SummerSlam essentially. All kind of the same, mainly with Cody. And I mean, it's good because that's I want to just against him and make him sympathetic. He needs more heels to work with. Solo. Granted, he's been getting he's been getting boos, like he's been getting heel like boos. But yeah, we'll see how the match goes. The match seems like it's going to be very predictable at SummerSlam with a certain individual returning. But overall, what'd you think about SmackDown on Friday?
That was a fine show. Wasn't anything really wrong with it per se, but you did had a lot of talent that was in Japan. I mean that was in Japan the past week, so some of them didn't really make the show, but I thought the show was fine for what it was. I mean they continue to build uh you know they're the SmackDown side of things for SummerSlam, so can't really complain about it.
Right, well said. All right, so we're gonna move on to Monday Night Raw, July 29th of 2024. I again wrote down some notes. Um, this was the go home show for I where was it at? St. Paul, Minnesota. The show opens with Seth Rollins coming out in his referee gear, which again I'm a Seth Rollins apologist, but it's just like I don't know, this gear is it's like you have CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in the ring, just guys that look
What's
like
wrong with this
wrestlers, and then
gear? I thought
it looks out of place, dude. Like it looks
that's
it,
his character.
it's I don't know. It's anyways, another here. He opens up the show, hypes up SummerSlam, brings out CM Punk and McIntyre. Basically reminds him of the stipulation: physical, then the match is off, and also don't touch Rollins. That's what Adam Pearce apparently said. Punk said he's not scared of them both, but he's scared of what he's going to do to. Seth said he volunteered to be the ref because they scared off the officials. He wants to see them fight. Punk calls Seth a boot-looking office boy. Drew calls Punk a cancer, tells him he's being a cancer to the NXT locker room and to the boys in the back. Corporate man Punk is called him. Says he hates both. Seth will use referee's discretion. Pretty much says that, he's not really going to call disqualification. He's going to pretty much let anything happen that can happen. Punk tells Seth, I hope you ref better than you dress. I don't want. Drew says you should be worried about the 6'5" guy that's pissed. Or let me walk that back a little bit. Drew tells Punk, don't. You should be worried about the 6'5" guy that you pissed off. You can't go anywhere without people chanting his name. That's what Punk said. Says he won't stop until his heart does. Actually, no, Drew said that. Can't go anywhere without people chanting CM Punk's name. He won't stop kicking his ass and heart does, or his heart stops. I mean, something he would do for free. Years I was absent, and they chanted names. What Punk said calls Drew the third man or the third wheel. Hunting CM Punk was the best and worst thing to happen in your career. calls Drew his own worst enemy. Drew pulls up, Punk's, and that's how he ended. Pretty decent segment. Again, I noticed this. I don't know if you noticed this.
I hear people saying, "Oh, that was a generational segment." I'm like, what? No, okay,
That was a
no,
what?
good, but I saw people saying online it was a generational segment. We're like, "Oh, it was one of the best, best promos ever." Like, man, y'all
No,
are really reaching.
nah.
Like
Like
reaching, like
I but I mean, you can't see me because my camera's off. But like, I noticed that the Punk response was not bad, but kind of tepid. Not like the usual, like loud CM Punk chants. I don't know if you noticed that.
not really. No, I thought everyone was getting chants the way they were supposed to get chants. So
I don't know. I would think since they're kind of in the Midwest area, Punk would have got a louder response. But I don't know. That was just me. But it was a
Midwest is
nice.
not Chicago. They could be in
Well, I
fucking
mean,
Iowa. They could be in Iowa, and the only person. Well, that's a bad example because that'll be Seth's country. But they could be in like, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, or something like that, and like it'll probably be the same thing. So, I don't
yeah,
think it has anything to do with him, being the Midwest.
yeah, you're not wrong. But I mean, it was an okay segment. Like what word did you use? A generational segment? No, that was
Yeah, like generational segment, been one of the best, promos ever. I'm like, man, like, am I just old, or these people coming up are just too young and they have really nothing to compare to? But these people who are saying that are in their 20s, so like I know you're seeing the pipe bomb, so and I know you've seen other promos. Like it was good. I thought it was a good segment, but generational, like best ever, like what are we talking about?
what crack are you smoking? Yeah, like I don't mean like as far as like their promos goes, this wasn't. This is probably maybe the best one. I mean, it was still a good one, but out of all their promos, the one they had in what is it, Brooklyn before Mania, that was probably the best one,
Yeah,
without a doubt. But yeah, generational segment, nah, no, come on,
no,
people. Uh,
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's the matter with people on social media.
I don't know. And also to answer your question, I think we're getting old. Yeah, we are getting old, and the fans are getting young. So, I mean, there's fans that are younger than 21 that have never seen WCW
I mean, that's fine.
or even
No.
so. Again,
At one point,
nothing wrong.
I never saw AWA. Yeah, I mean, until I went back and started watching that stuff. Like, oh my god, where did Shawn Michaels come? Oh, he was in the AWA. Oh, you mean Jake the Snake Roberts was here and Rick Rude was here and what I mean, Hogan was here at one point. So yeah,
I mean, I didn't even know that Mick Foley was in WCW until I had a Best of Bash at the Beach VHS,
yeah.
and I just watch it, and I just see Mick Foley as Cactus Jack wrestling Sting. Great match, by the way. Yeah. Uh, After that, we had Otis and Tawa versus the Creeds, who are Chad Gable's. I mean, decent match. I mean, you can kind of tell where it was going. This was the gateway to get the Creed. Otis is a people like Otis. I find it kind of weird that he's still getting a free T-shirt, be free from Chad Gable. So I think T-shirt for him, but that's just me. The Creeds win, of course. Afterwards, all three gang up on Tozawa and Otis and up. Maxine comes in and slaps Chad. She was ready to scrap with Chad. Good for her. You guys kind of game up. I guess slowly creep up on Max, and it's oh fuck, what's his name? Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Loomis, and they take off their masks, which I thought was unique. If you're gonna wrestle in those things, then they answered our question one day. So they took off their mask. Joe Gacy, Rowan came. Dexter Loomis has actual hair, and he has that cross in the middle of his head. And they took out the Creeds. Chad Gable was walking
fake
away.
hair?
No, it's not fake hair. That's his real hair.
No,
Like
what I'm
legit.
saying is, like anybody thought it was his fake hair? I thought it was his real hair.
I mean, last time you saw him, he had short hair. But yeah, again, just speculation. But it was confirmed that was hair from the source.
Hair
But
grows. People
yeah,
cut hair. But yeah, I get you though.
right. But again, good to see the Wyatts actually do. I mean, the Wyatts actually do something. Next week, they're going to make their in-ring debut as a team against Chad Gable and the Creeds. Overall, what was your?
You cut out. What'd you say?
I said, overall, what were your thoughts on the segment?
Oh, good, good. I mean, they finally got the White Six identified, unmasked, and all of that. Gacy, Rowan, Loomis. Loomis looks great, right? Yeah, I mean, thought it was fine. I mean, they're going to begin having their debut match next week on Raw. People are complaining about that, but there's already 7 matches on SummerSlam, and Triple H ain't trying to go past that. So, totally fine. Totally fine for what it was. And then people will be complaining if this match was on the pre-show. So you can't win. You can't win at all unless they're on the main card. So if they were on the main card, you had 8 match, you got to figure that match will be a squash match. And are we going to squash the newly Creeds and Chad Gable? You know what I mean? So you got to think about this. And plus this, I mean, I get it. You got the Creeds and Chad Gable together, but like I don't like how they're gonna be the first victims to this because you just formed this group. So they need wins right now too. But I'm excited to see what they do next week. As long as they don't do the oogly boogly stuff, you know what I mean, wrestling under red light or no magic shit. It seems like they're gonna have a more human-like personality when it comes to in-ring. So hopefully they deliver on that next week.
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head with that last aspect. I hope they don't do what the Fiend used to do, wrestle under a red light, because that's just fucking infuriating. Not because I won't do it, but because it's very distracting and it's just kind of takes you out of the match a little bit. So,
Well, it's Vince McMahon booking type of booking, so we don't need any of that.
yeah, I hope not. But again, good because it's just like now the now the rabbit's out of the hat already, so to speak. So you're gonna get to see these 3 guys actually wrestle. And yeah, good for them. Next is you had Sheamus versus Bronson Reed. Pretty decent match, back and forth. I mean, these guys have wrestled before. During the match, Pete Dunne hits Sheamus with a shillelagh while the referee's not looking, and Bronson Reed gets a win with a tsunami. Last night on NXT, Pete Dunne kind of revealed his reasons for being pissed off at Sheamus the way he is. Pretty much just saying that, I was brought in with a bad name, Butch, and then it just became the Sheamus show. And then everybody left and it was just me. So, he's Pete Dunne's mad as expected. But Jey Uso versus Carlito. Let me kind of backtrack on that. So, when Judgment Day gets back to their their bunkhouse or clubhouse, they find that the entire place has been trashed. The lights, the couch, the PS5. The PS5 has been destroyed. Carlito was heartbroken about that. Even Carlito was like, are we still going to get a PS5? Which I find funny because it's like I'm pretty sure you can afford one, Carlito. But he ends up making a match with, or actually I guess he makes a match with Dom and Sami Zayn, and in return they tell him go after Jey Uso. So he wrestles Jey Uso. Pretty much a cut and dry match with Jey Uso getting the win. And then you had Xavier Woods versus Karrion Kross. I'm kind of glad they're letting Karrion Kross talk more because Kross can actually talk. He's been kind of, I mean, he does some good backstage segments, but when he talks and he can actually be himself, like he actually does have personality. He kind of gives, I mean, I know we were talking about Javon Evans sounding like a person. With Karrion Kross, he kind of gives that like 80s kind of not by the numbers, but kind of that 80s wrestler talk of like, Kofi Kingston didn't have to show up in this godforsaken place of St. Paul, Minnesota. And then, it's kind of cheap heel heat. And then tells Kofi, and then, says Kofi is a one-armed bastard. So, again, I like Kross, getting a reaction. It's working for him. So, but, Russell's Xavier Woods beat him as he I guess a little distraction by what the fuck? AOP. So Cross gets the win. I'm assuming, or actually, the story was Kofi re-injured himself on the tour in Japan, so that's why he didn't show up to Raw. He was originally supposed to show up to Raw. However long he's out, I'm assuming maybe he's gonna wrestle Cross again, or Cross is gonna be done and move on to bigger and better things. But so far, what have you thought about the show since the opening of the show?
Well, I'll just say Raw overall wasn't really it was a missable show. They didn't really do anything to really add to the SummerSlam card. Wasn't a bad show, but it was a show that could have been missed. Everything that we're talking about right now, like it didn't really matter for me to watch it live.
Yeah, I get you. It was mainly just a hey, let's get to SummerSlam type.
Yeah. And that's
deal.
fine. I mean, WWE's been doing that for a while with their go home shows, but I kind of wish that they do have like one very, very, very strong go home show. But I mean, at this point, it's like they done everything that they can for SummerSlam at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some points where I was kind of nodding off during the show. I'm like, okay, this is this seems like a chore now. But breeze through the rest of the show. Sami Zayn was Dominic, ends Q after Judgment Day interferes, and Jey Uso comes in to help, and Braun Breaker tries to take out Sami Zayn again, but Sami Zayn gets the upper hand. Good. Y6 promo with Dexter Lumis. Doesn't say much, but he just says run. Looks in the camera, run. So, Lyra Valkyria and Caden Carter and Chance, Zoe Stark, and kind of match. The heels win. I don't know if you know.
Say that again, you cut out.
Did the heels win in this match?
You cut out. Like I didn't even hear the match. The match that you said.
Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna versus
Babyface is one, I believe.
Okay. Then you had Gunther as the main event. This was a good match. This is a very good match. We hadn't seen before in WWE. As of late, two big stars of wrestling. Finn got the shit shot of him, just like everybody else in a Gunther match. But Finn looked like he had it worse almost. Probably because he was smaller. Because I know Eel took a lot of pain, but they gave a lot of Finn, which I'm not gonna sound like I'm surprised about, but they really did make Finn look like something in this match, and I still do like Finn. But at this point, Finn is not pin me, pay me guy, but he's out there to do the job for someone like Gunther, and Gunther chop the ever living piss out of him, and ended up getting the win with the. And then and him and Gunther brought out, and that was your go home. Did you have any thoughts on the main event?
Well, good main event, very good. I mean, you got two great pro wrestlers in the ring, going at each other very hard. Really, no complaints with the main event. It accomplished what it needed to do.
All right, so we are going to move on to NXT. Before anything, am I sounding okay right now?
You're kind of in and out, but dealing with it.
Jesus Christ, I think it has to do with this OBS thing. All right, all right. Hello, hello. Check 1, check 2. How do I sound?
We're good. Yep, keep going.
All right, all right. Probably because I have OBS minimized. Maybe that's why. But all right, so we're gonna keep it on here. All right, NXT Great American Bash, night 1. Watched the replay today. Pretty good show. You know, NXT is usually a very good show. So let's kind of go through the matches real quick. The show opens with who are those guys? Hank and who's the other guy?
Um,
I was gonna say Hank and Tank, but that's not it.
yeah, yeah, it is Hank and Tank.
Hank and Tank. There you go. They
Yeah, Hank
were
Ledger, Tank
the
Dempsey.
I guess the host of Great American Bash, and just being goofballs. There was one joke that kind of made me laugh, and I don't know why it did, but I guess because I like dad jokes, where they get into the firewall. I guess the area where the firewall is, and I think it was Tank that went firewall, and then Hank goes, "No, that's drywall." And he turns around,
Yeah.
firewall. I was just like, why did that make me laugh? I don't know why. I like dad jokes. I can't help it. So they open the show. The first match of the night was the women's tag team championships, the Unholy Union versus Metaphor for the women's tag team championships. This is a nice match.
Mhm.
It's weird because Unholy Union, they won the tag titles in Scotland. They had their big moment, and it just seems like ever since then they've kind of just been doing backstage segments and not really have done much. But again, that's booking. That really doesn't have anything to do with them. And then you had Metaphor, Legend and Jakara. Uh, Lash Legend again. She's shown a lot of improvement. Jakara is somebody that I do want to see more out of. I think she has something there. I just need to see more of it. It's good to see Metaphor kind of breaking out on their own ever since Noam Dar got hurt. Because you have Oro, who's he kind of looks like he's the breakout guy of the group, next to Lash Legend. He's gonna be wrestling the NXT champion next week, so we're gonna see how that match goes. But I thought this was a good match. It was a pretty good showing for Lash. Lash, for the most part, got more of the offense in for Metaphor. Jakara, you kind of figured she was going to be the one that eats the pin, which in the end she did. But I thought this was a nice match, and it ended the way it did. It's predictable, but good predictable. But what'd you think about it?
Well, no, you pretty much covered it. Lash Legend is improving a little bit by little bit. I still don't think she's stellar in the ring or anything like that, but she does have a great presence with her. Jakara Jackson, she for a while she was injured, so that stopped her momentum and her progressions. And the Unholy Union, I mean they're good at what they do. I do want to see them wrestle more on the main roster. But it's good for them to come to NXT, get a rep in, and yeah, hopefully it leads to more action on the main roster. They gotta get rid of these women's tag team titles, though. To be honest, that's
Uh,
my thing.
Much agreed. Much agreed. These tag titles are kind of, I hate to say worthless, but they're kind of worthless because there's a lot of makeshift women's tag teams. I think the secondary titles, like the North American title, and then eventually adding a women's United States or a women's Intercontinental, or shit, just make like a new one for the women,
Let's
like a
name the tag teams in on the main roster.
Okay.
So we got the tag champions. We got Jaden Bianca.
Mhm.
You want to participate?
Okay, Jade and Bianca. There's that. The tag champions. Um, you have Zoe Stark and Shayna. You
Right.
have Chance and Carter.
Yeah.
So how many names so far? 4?
Those are 4. That's 4 so far. Then you got
Damage
no, that's
control.
probably Damage Control, right? So you do have tag teams, not a ton. You got tag teams, but we're not utilizing them within a division. We're just utilizing them for like like other shit to be part of singles feuds. You take the main person of the tag team and put them in a singles feud with someone else from another tag team. But that's kind of like what we're seeing a lot of right now. But you know, it's very stupid. But if they're
Right.
not getting utilized tag teams, let's get rid of them. That's my opinion.
Well said. And I was gonna say, like, not necessarily a Intercontinental or a US. It doesn't have to be that. Like, bring back the TV title. Make a women's
I
TV.
mean, it doesn't matter what you name it. Like, we just need a mid card belt, at least
No, I know what you
one.
mean. I mean, I know what you mean, but it's just I don't know. TV. We haven't had a TV title in a while. That's just me. Um, Next is the Heritage Cup match with
We
Tony
have TNT.
D'Angelo.
We have TNT and TBS. That's kind of a TV
Oh,
title.
oh yeah, we do have that. Heritage Cup
No.
Championship match: Tony D'Angelo versus Tavion Heights. Um, Again, it's just these Heritage Cup matches. I'm just not a fan of, personally. To me, I just prefer wrestling matches that are just like it just seems simple to explain them. For me, these just kind of take me out because like they're like 2-3 minutes each, and once they
Rounds,
start
yeah.
to, yeah, once they start to get going, they stop, and it just kind of takes you out of the match, or it takes me out of the match. I don't know how most people feel about them, but I was kind of drifting in and out of this match, but obviously Tony D'Angelo won 2-1 against Tavion Heights, but yeah. What'd you think about the match?
It was a fine match. Wasn't great or anything, but I thought it was fine for what it was. I mean, again, the reason why this exists is so for they can train these wrestlers to have longer matches and not have them blown up. So they have these longer matches in segments instead of a full blowout long match. So I think it's fine for what it was. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, that's the reason why they have this Heritage Cup and the Heritage Cup championship. So they took a old English match type and is modernize it for the American audience. But it's not really because they want to have it. It's because they want to try to teach these wrestlers who are not used to having long matches and getting blown up in the match, kind of space that match out. So I understand what it's for. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like I do dig it. I do dig it because it is different, right? It's not just like your standard wrestling match. You know what I mean? Like how many of those can we watch every week? And it's something that's unique to everything. That's like you don't get this in AEW. You don't get this on the main roster. You don't get this in TNA. So I'm cool with it. Once every couple weeks.
Right. Next is you got Cedric Alexander versus Brooks Jensen. Why did Cedric win this match? Why didn't Brooks Jensen win it? I mean, I think Brooks, not, Jensen needed this win a lot more than Cedric Alexander because to keep his momentum going. I guess they wanted to give Cedric a win to kind of maybe establish himself more in NXT because this is kind of like breathing
Outside
a
of
new.
that, what's the reason why Cedric won? Outside of what you just said.
I mean, to kind of keep his momentum going,
This
essentially.
has nothing to do with Cedric Alexander. This has everything to do with Brooks Jensen. It's because that if you see, he's actually being watched by Sean Spears. Sean Spears is going to end up giving Brooks Jensen a more of a killer mentality. It's like, hey, you need me. You need me. Just fucking lost to Cedric Alexander because you're doing something stupid in the ring. This is a bigger story. This has nothing to do with Cedric Alexander winning. It has everything with Brooks Jensen losing and the story that they're going to tell between Brooks Jensen and Sean Spears. So because you can see the disappointment on Sean Spears' face after Brooks Jensen took the pinfall. So there's gonna be more to come with this in up and coming weeks.
Right. I mean, I like what I'm seeing from Brooks Jensen. He definitely has an old school look. I don't know how far he's gonna go, but he definitely has a glass ceiling. But I do want to see him go far because I like what I'm seeing from him.
He also
And-
wore a Jimmy Rave shirt coming out to the ring.
oh, nice. And I do like Cedric. I do like Cedric getting some TV time. Next is you had Joe Hendry's live concert, which, as you can imagine, was a big hit. He performed a brand new song talking about, Shawn Michaels, the chef, and Triple H bringing him into NXT. Referred to Booker T as the president of the Joe Hendry fan club, which that was a big pop from me. That actually made me laugh. Refers to Gallus, being kicked out of Scotland for having, bad facial hair. It was a pretty catchy song. And then Gallus came out and everybody booed them, which good because that was a beautiful song. Why would you interrupt that? They came out and cornered Joe Hendry and beat him up. Joe Hendry, walking to the parking lot says, they ruined my concert. I want a match with Joe Coffey next week. So next week it will be Joe Hendry versus Joe Coffey. But what'd you think about the Joe Hendry concert?
It was fine. It was fine. They got over with the crowd. The crowd loved it. That's the most important thing to that. Not really my cup of tea, but I see why the fans love it. But he's super mega over right now, and this relationship with WWE and TNA is working like gangbusters right now. Again, is this leading to reigns for TNA? Not really. Haven't really seen much of a huge increase. But it seems like their attendance has gone up also at the same time as well. I don't think that's a direct correlation of NXT. I think that's a direct correlation of what they're doing on TV for the fans, for those hardcore TNA fans, for them to be emotionally involved with what they're doing. So, but as far as segment was, I thought it was really good, really good.
A lot of the ratings for TNA have more to do with the channel they're on.
I guess I mean I'm not really too. I can't really say yes or no about that, but yeah, I don't know. I can't really say yes or no to that.
Right. I mean, that might be a factor. I mean, they're on Access. I don't think not everybody has access.
I mean, not everyone
Uh,
has access, but I mean, the numbers that they draw, there's way more people that have access than the numbers that they draw. So again, I don't think it has anything to do with them having a relationship with NXT. The only way that their ratings are going to go up is once they start getting some big names over there. Once they start getting some big names over there, the people will start watching more. But Charlie Dempsey and the other people like that, Tam Paxley, right? They're not gonna draw ratings over there. They're not gonna sell tickets to their shows, right? To Summerversary. Those tickets were gonna be sold regardless, rather if it was relationship or no relationship with NXT or not. So Wesley, I love him. He's not drawing over there either. Like, you gotta get some huge names over there. Trick Williams, if they decide to have AJ Styles go over there, AJ, people like that, that's actually gonna get people really to start paying attention to what they're doing, or have a big matchup over there. Oh man, I gotta see Obafemi versus Hammerstone, right? Like, that's gonna draw ratings, not like just, hey, we're just gonna show up and do a segment and not have a big time match, a big time feud. So they really, and I think they're gonna get to that point. So they're playing they're going slow and easy at this point. But as of right now, like, again, TNA, they're doing fine. It's because of TNA. It has nothing to do with what NXT is doing. NXT is an enhancement to what they're doing, but the hardcore TNA fans are already going to be supporting TNA regardless, rather if NXT is there or not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see TNA get a bump in the ratings. More than just what is it, 105?
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
right around there. Yeah.
so you would kind of. I do pull for TNA. I do like what I'm seeing from their show. Seems like a much more cohesive wrestling show. Kind of basic. Not
And again, I go back to the point of like with Joe Hendry not winning the title. Like if he would have won the title, would anybody go and watch TNA Weekly? I don't think so. Like I think you may dabble in every now and then, right? Like, oh, I'm home on Thursday. Oh, TNA's on. Okay, I'll watch 5-10 minutes of it. Oh, man, what the hell is this? Oh, the system. I'm not really interested in moves. You turn the TV, right? But if you land on Joe Hendry, oh, that's Joe Hendry. Okay, I'll watch a little bit. Then once Joe Hendry leaves, then you turn it off. So I don't think whatever that they do is not going to increase the ratings dramatically. The only way that they can do that is like, oh man, AJ Styles is gonna be coming over and he's gonna be there for the next, couple months and he's gonna be challenging for the TNA title. Something like that, I think that will get more people over there. Probably not a ton, but it'll get more people over there for sure. But, just as of right now, like whatever people want to say about whatever TNA is doing, and especially a lot of people on social media, it's just all talk and no action. Like they're not gonna go out of their way and watch it, right? Like I said, the only people who are watching TNA right now are the hardcore fans of TNA.
Yeah, fair enough. As for the rest of the show, you had because you mentioned the Rascals, they did their own treehouse.
That was pretty cool. I like that they did that.
That was pretty funny. Nash
Playing that
Carter
they're
was like,
smoking weed, right? Smoking weed on TV.
yeah,
I
but
wasn't
Wesley
expecting
was
that
like,
on
we can't.
WWE TV.
Yeah, Wesley was like, we can't really do that. It's kind of a PG show. And then Wesley's saying, I'm gonna text Axiom to get a rematch for our NXT tag team titles. And then they shut off the camera to imply that they're smoking weed on NXT. I'm guessing when they go to CW, maybe they can be a little bit more adult, which
No, we'll see.
which I say that when NXT is like kind of a very raunchy show. If you look at it,
Yeah.
somewhat, it's a very sexual show, somewhat. But anyhow, next, yeah, Jada Parker versus Kendall Gray. Pretty basic match. Parker got the win. Before that, she kind of mocked Roxanne Bettis. She implied that the Prodigy might end up losing tonight. So we had that. Tatum Paxley confronted Kalani Jordan to set up a North American Championship match next week. Jesus Christ. So we have that match set up for next week. I got a 6-woman tag match. Lola Vice and Sol Ruka and Carmen Petrovich versus Fallon Henley, Jason Jane, and Jasmine Nix, the veterans of NXT.
Yeah.
This is a pretty fun match. I don't want to say a surprise because I like all 6 women in this match, but this is a pretty fun match with all 6 women. The right team won. You want to get this heel group over. The veterans of NXT. All 6 women seem to work so well together. Carmen Petrovich, I do like her. I kind of want to see what she can do a lot more in the future. I mentioned the whole thing with her sword. To me, it's just like, I get what she's trying to go for. She wants to do the Kill Bill act, but eventually it's going to be one of those things of just like, okay, what are you doing with it? It's just there. Is it just there for show? Or you're actually going to use it. Kind of like, with Drew.
They're kind of there for show. When Steve Blackman came out with the, you remember those glow sticks? Never really used them.
Well, being Drew, same thing. He came out with a sword, then eventually it was just like, well, he's not going to use this.
Add it to the character. You know what it does? It sells toys. That I can confirm for you.
Or when Scott Steiner used to come out with a lead pipe, which was just like,
well, Scotty, he used the lead pipe though, so.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, that's in Scotty's case, he uses any weapon he has.
Yeah, well, you would have used that tiger if he would have a chance.
I was going to mention the tiger too. He came out with the tiger, and it's just like, knowing Scott, I don't want to say we know Scott personally, but it's just like, as wrestling fans watching Scott Steiner for the longest time, it's like he would have used that tiger if he had the chance. Like, truly. He would have used it on Ric Flair. That'd be the first person he would have used it on.
Right.
Because jealous bastard with yellow teeth. Oh, I love Scott Steiner. Never change. But the heels won, as they should have. Good decision. Fallon Henley, I'm still kind of iffy on her heel turn. I like anything JC Jane does. Jasmine Nix has potential. I'll leave it at that. And the people love Sol Ruca. They love them some Sol Ruca. They love them some Lola Vice. And yeah, that's just kind of how I looked at the match. Very fun match. And we're at the main event already. We are at the main event. We have the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez, the champion, versus Thea Hale, representing Chase U. This was the main event, as we all kind of expected. This was a fantastic match. These two match up well. They're kind of similar age. I believe Roxanne is a few years older than Thea, which is kind of weird because
I think they're like 1 year apart.
Right. It's funny because Roxanne's calling her a little girl, and they're kind of the same age essentially. They both match up well. They both kind of wrestle. I don't want to say the same, but similarly. Like, because Roxanne is more of a mat wrestler. Thea is very much a submission specialist, and these two went out there and had a great match. I thought
know
it was
Roxy's 22. Thea Hale's 20. So yeah, 2 years apart. Sorry.
But these two had a great match. They did not disappoint. I remember last year at the Great American Bash, Thea had a really good match with Tiffany, and it was just funny because I remember we were talking about the match, and I'm just two girls that's really green and they're really good wrestling match. And now you have a year later, Thea is, I don't want to say not green, but she has shown massive improvement. She's a lot different than she was last year. And Roxanne's Roxanne. Roxanne's great. She's our girl. And a lot of the match was about Thea trying to make Roxanne tap out and Roxanne trying to make Thea tap out. And I liked it. I like the kind of like bait and switch and rolling around of anytime Thea would get the Kimura lock on, Roxanne would get her crossface on. And they would just kind of roll around the ring and get a rope break and everything. And eventually Roxanne got Pop Rocks, which was I thought that was a very clever ending to the match. Roxanne is still the NXT Women's Champion, as we kind of all expected. But what were your thoughts on the match?
That was good. I wouldn't go as far as saying fantastic, but I thought it was a really good match. To your point, both styles they did very mesh well with each other. Thea has improved tremendously. I mean, she's 20 years old. Can you imagine her in the next 3 to 4 years, right?
Jesus
She
Christ.
is going to be a mega star because of her worth ethic as far as what she's trying to get better in the ring, but she has charisma for days. And like she's probably the most charismatic woman on the NXT roster currently. So that's gonna help her out tremendously. Roxy's Roxy. At first, people weren't really fond of her heel turn, thought she was trying too hard, and now she's fitting into this role tremendously. Whenever Julia comes in, well, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And Stephanie comes in, those three women in combination are going to have fantastic matches with each other. And I can't forget about Delta too as well, because Delta is apparently on her way too as well. But outside of that, I thought this match was really good main event. Both women, showed, their value. Obviously Roxy and obviously Thea, in these championship matches has thrived very well. Her versus Roxy and her versus was it Tiffany, right? She's gone above and beyond both times. So couldn't be more happy for both women and both women's performances.
Right. Yeah. To your point, Thea is again, she's not even old enough to drink. Imagine how she's going to be in the next 5 years. She's going to be big for WWE. I remember an interview she just did recently where she said Thunder Rosa is what kind of got her the WWE. Because she showed up in AEW, I think, for like one match where she was like, what was her name? Athena Black or Athena Knight or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but now she's in WWE. She's gonna be a big star for him, and I love her personality because she doesn't come off as fake and phony. She doesn't feel like she's playing an act. Like this is actually her. Like
Right.
she is spunky and full of energy, and the fans love her. Like she's much better as a babyface. And I don't think I could picture her as a heel, in my opinion. But
No.
uh, and Roxanne's Roxanne. She's gonna be big on the main roster. She definitely has. I don't want to go as far as saying it, but she definitely has that confidence for somebody her age. So. But I enjoyed week one of Great American Bash. Next week, week two, the matches so far. I'm assuming these are going to be all the matches. You have Ethan Page versus Oro Mensah for the NXT Championship. Kalani Jordan versus Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Axiom and Nathan Frazier versus MSK for the NXT Tag Team titles. And Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne. So that looks like a very good match card for next week. I look forward to that, actually. No Obafemi, surprisingly. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Gotta ask Shawn Michaels. I don't work for NXT.
I guess they gave him the week off.
No one. There's no one worthy of challenging him. Who would you put him in the ring with for a challenge? Who's the guy that Obafemi feeds on?
Jordan Grace. I'm playing. I don't know who you put it. Again, just give Oba the week off. I guess he's been killing it on these NXT shows. But that was Great American Bash. What happened tonight on Dynamite?
Dynamite was okay. It wasn't terrible or anything like that. Did you see any of it tonight?
I did not.
Okay, well, it's a 3-segment show. I'll just say the opening, the middle, and the end were all good.
So what exactly happened?
I mean, I don't know if we want to go into detail with that, but I would say watch the beginning, the opening segment, watch the segment before the 8:00 hour, 9 p.m. Eastern time, which include Danielson and Swerve, and watch the main event of Darby and Hangman. But I will just say this real quick: the biggest thing to come out of it is that Swerve versus Danielson. If Danielson loses, he will retire from wrestling.
Yeah, I did see that on Twitter. They announced that. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely makes the match maybe mean more. Kind of like with I'm comparing apples to oranges. Shawn Michaels and Taker. For part 2 of their Mania match, where Taker said, if you lose to me, you never wrestle again. And Shawn Michaels saying, if I can't beat you, I have no career. So it makes more sense, and make the match mean something. It'll kind of have at the end of the match, more than likely, Danielson's gonna lose, and there's gonna be a nice going away segment for him. Which good. Did see a clip of the Darby match where he did something on the stage, but I kind of didn't see it right. But I guess the big news coming out of AEW is Shane O'Mac. Not officially, but it looks like he's going to be a part of AEW somehow, whether it be on-air talent or, backstage guy, booker, whatever.
You think he's going to come in AEW?
I mean, that's the way it kind of looks so far.
I mean, that didn't look like that to me. I don't disagree with you, but just because they're in a picture together in an office, like that doesn't mean anything. Preliminary meetings happen all the time, like this.
I think it could be good for AEW because obviously, I know I said last week where I was like, I want Shane to have a match. I was just saying that to be goofy. Like I think Shane, if he were to come into AEW, he can be that guy for Tony Khan that I was talking about, for a while, which is Tony Khan needs that guy to say no to people. Like he needs muscle. He needs, the guy to not be everyone's best friend and to be a dick. and I think Shane could be
I
that
agree.
guy from.
I agree.
I think Tony tries to wear too many hats in this company. I do think he needs to focus on being the booker rather than trying to run everything else. I'm not saying step down and give it to Shane, but I'm just saying like focus on one thing at a time and let Shane do everything else.
What do you think Shane McMahon's main, if he were to get signed at AEW, and mind you guys, so just so we know, because we didn't explain at the beginning, Shane McMahon had a private meeting with Tony Khan at the Arlington Airport on Monday, and and someone took a picture of it and put it out on social media. You can see Shane McMahon standing up and Tony Khan sitting down. And it looks like they were drinking some expensive water. So just want to put that background there, but I forgot. Did I ask you? I did ask you a question, right? I thought, oh yeah, for Shane McMahon, like, what do you think his main, like, if he were to get signed to AEW, what do you think his job title will actually end up being, and his role? I guess we could just say his role. What do you think his actual role will end up being in AEW?
I guess kind of what he was doing before he came back to WWE that one time, which is try to get him more TV deals. Maybe he's being used as as almost like an anchor to get him a better deal from Warner Brothers.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe to get him. I mean, because I believe they're already on Max, but maybe to kind of sweeten the pot.
There's some of the content's popping up apparently. I haven't logged into Max to confirm it, so
The only thing I saw was that Access show, and that's it. But
I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. But no, I
yeah,
agree. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, continue.
No, I was gonna say that I agree with you as far as Shane McMahon being probably used as a COD to be there for better TV deals and things of that nature. So I'm on Max right now, and yeah, it's just an all access show. So that's the only thing that's on there right now is the all access show. So Big Little Brawlers is on there too as well, and Andre the Giant. Guess that HBO original documentary series is on there. But anyway, yeah, I think that's probably is gonna be like his main thing to work business deals. I also think that him being on TV will be a good idea to have. Again, just like as I mentioned with TNA, Shane McMahon ain't gonna draw like huge numbers for him. It's probably gonna help a little bit, but not a ton. But at the end of the day, like Shane being within AEW, and as long as he is in his place, I think it will help AEW tremendously. But me knowing this, I don't want bad things to happen, but just me kind of looking at this, kind of think that bad things may happen. If you look at the picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tony Khan's sitting, Shane is standing. Like I don't like so let me backtrack this. This is hypothetically if he is going to sign with AEW. Do I think that he's going to sign with AEW? I'm not sure. I don't. You cannot say with this picture, oh, he's signed AEW. Oh my god. Let's calm down. Let's think a little bit here. These meetings happen all the time. Tony Khan, I'm pretty sure, had a meeting with Goldberg in this nature. I'm pretty sure Tony Khan has had a meeting with many people of this nature. I'm pretty sure Triple H had a meeting like this with Kenny Omega when he was a free agent in 2017 or whatever. Oh no, not 2017. 2019. Right before AEW started. I'm pretty sure he had a meeting with Kenny Omega. May have been over the phone, may have been in person, right? I'm more than sure there's been meetings like this that has happened in wrestling history where nothing's come from it, right? Now, that's number one. Number two, Tony Khan, I totally believe that he wants this picture out. He wants this picture out. I believe that this picture was done from somebody within the Tony Khan camp, because if this was a worker, no one's talking about this because people are just like, oh my god. People just don't use their brains on social media. They just talk. If this was this situation, do you not think that Tony Khan and or Shane McMahon be like, hey, what are you doing here with that phone? Are you videotaping us? Are you taking a picture? You can't do that. This is a private meeting. We're gonna have to ask you to delete that picture. Bring your phone over here. Tony Khan wanted this out. Tony Khan wanted this out. So maybe Shane and Tony Khan both wanted it out. So it's gonna develop rumors and spark interest and all that stuff. So it could be likely that Shane may be coming into AEW. I don't know if it's gonna be next month, next week, Wembley, or even a few months down the road. But with Shane possibly signing to AEW as a possibility, not for sure, but as a possibility, I think that it can help. But also what I mentioned from before, you see Shane standing up, Tony Khan sitting down. When you're usually standing up and someone's sitting down, that means that if you're the guy standing up, that means you're trying to convince the guy sitting down something. Wherever that convention is, we don't know what that is, right? And usually the person that's sitting down is going to tend to believe the guy that's standing up. Look it up. It's a scientific fact. not making this bullshit up. It's a legit thing. So I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think Shane knows business, but also as well, I think he's gonna come in with a little bit more of a mature mentality. But also, look what happened at the Royal Rumble. Was it last year? No, 2 years ago. Now the Royal Rumble, whatever it was. Well, I think it was 2022.
2022 when he came in and eliminated Kevin Owens.
Yeah, so that happening over there, and that was his last stint in WWE until he came back and injured himself. Look, as long as Shane comes in, he knows his role, he knows that Tony Khan's the boss. But at the end of the day, like, do you think a McMahon is going to, you know what I mean? Like, a McMahon is going to, fully listen to. He's gonna listen to Tony because that's his boss. But he's gonna fully listen. Like fucking Shane gave his dad shit. You think he's gonna be afraid of what Tony Khan is gonna have to say when Shane McMahon's father's Vince fucking McMahon and he's giving Vince shit about something? That's what we're looking at.
All McMahons are naturally alphas. Shane, Stephanie, Vince.
Right. Of course.
Linda, to an extent, she's in politics, so you kind of have to be an alpha.
Yeah. So
Triple
there's
H,
that.
obviously.
Right. Obviously. Fuck. If I was gonna say shit. God damn it.
It was in my head like piggyback. So like, he's more than likely going to be brought in as an on-air talent, not to wrestle. I hope not to wrestle, but like,
no, he's gonna wrestle. He's gonna wrestle a couple matches.
I have an idea. I don't know how you're going to feel about it. I kind of think he'll be brought in as like an on-screen general manager.
No.
Why not?
No. Why?
Why not?
Like, why? Okay, I'll put it to you this way. What would be the purpose of that?
To kind of keep balance, and because Tony Khan can be like, my show's out of control, the Bucks are running it, the Elite's running it, blah blah. I need somebody that knows how to keep stability, and there's only one man for the job, blah blah. And then Shane McMahon comes out.
I'm not saying you're wrong that can happen. I just don't want to see it. I just don't think that would really be exciting. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that we've seen Shane McMahon do, like in 2016 and 2017. Like it's been done before. It's been done. I'm not saying for him to come in and be a fucking like Bryan Danielson or anything like that. But it's been done before. It's not new. It's not fresh. It's not exciting. It's just then what's gonna happen. Then you're gonna get people on social media saying like, "Oh well, AEW just being WWE light."
Well, I mean, the same.
Are they not?
they accuse WWE of copying AEW, which is fucking stupid too. So it's just
What
I
does
don't know.
WWE copy AEW on?
Again, this isn't me saying it. These are people on the internet, like literal human beings on the internet saying WWE is just copying AEW. It's like
What do they say though?
just literally everything. Like Tiffany Stratton's just copying Mariah May.
I've never heard that.
I, I'm, I need to
Never heard
send you.
that.
I need to send you screenshots of these
Yeah,
because
send me these because I've never heard that. I've heard that Tiffany Stratton has copied Christopher Daniels, for the BME to the PME, which I get it. If it's copying as an homage, I don't know, but back to the point here. You're gonna get people complaining that WWE, or I'm sorry, that AEW is copying WWE, right? In this aspect, from past things. The best thing to bring in Shane McMahon for is have him create a faction, be part of a faction or something like that, and him being the figurehead of that faction. Has Shane McMahon ever really done that in a long time? No, not like over 20 years since he's done anything like that. Who's in the faction? I don't know. Is it heel? Is it face? I don't know. Does he join the elite? I don't know. But I just think that they need to do something different. You can't do the same exact thing, right? I'm not saying that it won't happen. What I am saying is I just think that it'll be better for the company to go in a better direction with them. But I think we're looking at TV though. I think his main thing is backstage, and that's all. That I think the backstage stuff is going to matter more than what's going to be going on TV with him personally. So
correct. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm probably gonna put this as a clip on YouTube, the Shane McMahon conversation. So, but yeah, all in all, I think he works better as just being a backstage guy. But more than likely, he'll be an on-air personality. But all
he'll
right,
be both most likely. So yeah.
yeah. But SummerSlam is this Saturday, August.
I do have some news as well. I mean, if you want me to go through that.
All right, yeah, let's do the news and then we'll do SummerSlam.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought we were gonna do, but yeah, just real quick though, that's like the major thing. We don't have like a lot of stuff to like really talk about here. I think this was on. When was this? This was last Thursday, I think. Yeah, I think it was last Thursday. Last Thursday or last Friday. Well, anyway, Drew McIntyre posted a picture of himself with Jack Perry.
Yeah, see that.
And it drummed up conversation, and people are fine with each other, and all this stuff on social media. I'm pretty sure you saw the picture of Jack Perry and Drew McIntyre, right?
Yep.
So it's pushing a feud with Punk and McIntyre, obviously, right? First off, I just want to ask you, what did you think about the picture when you first saw it?
It was funny. It's just Drew McIntyre again trying to fan the flames for the feud with Punk. So it's funny. I didn't really take too much out of it other than the fact that it was funny. That's really about it.
Yeah, I think most people took it out of proportion, and he deleted like maybe like a couple of minutes later. But yeah, I think a lot of people took it out of proportion, and they're all like, "WWE talent with AEW." Well, CM Punk took pictures with Darby Allin and Brody King this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They're friends. Like guys,
Carmelo Hayes took a picture with Swerve at a gym.
Yeah, I did see that too. Like guys, like wrestlers are friends. They're friends. I know what Drew was doing here on this one. Maybe who knows? Maybe Drew messaged Punk like, "Hey, I'm gonna really stir up the internet here. Ha ha ha. I'm gonna take this picture with Jack Perry and Punk. And you know what Punk probably said? He's like, you know what? That's probably fucking funny too. It's gonna draw more eyes to our stuff and not AEW stuff. Oh my god. Anything for business. See, fans. You internet fans, you gotta understand that a lot of these wrestlers, they're friends, and there's no heat with them. But you guys get butthurt with AEW versus WWE, this fucking tribal bullshit. instead of just trying to enjoy what you're watching. And you know, you can criticize one versus the other, right? Fairly, but just blindly picking sides, like, hey, I hate AEW, aka WWE Gareth. I hate WWE, aka Dreammaker.
Or a real
Those,
one.
yeah. Well, I don't even follow that guy, but obviously you know who he is. I don't really know who he is, but anyway, you know, I mean, there's a few people on there who are actually, there's this AEW guy who's like he's an AEW guy, but like he still likes to watch WWE, but he's like mainly AEW. I think his name's like Air Gold or something like that. He's fine. He's okay. Sometimes his AEW text like, oh, you know, I don't, yeah, okay. Because earlier tonight he said like Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander should main event all. I'm like, okay, let's go back to the box on that one. I don't think that's necessary. But back to the point of Drew McIntyre and Jack Perry, this is just a further feud that's only going to help WWE and not AEW. So that's the way I look at it. But any closing thoughts before we move on?
You kind of hit everything on the head. You know, the fans are the ones that make this into a feud.
Jesus, man, people need some fucking air. This is interesting. Do you know about the Las Vegas Sphere? Have you seen it?
I have.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
It's pretty cool. Like sometimes it doesn't. I mean, the first time I saw it, I'm like, that can't be real, and
Right.
you know, obviously it is. So yeah, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very, very real, very interesting, right? Very state of the art too. Well, there has been, and this comes from Fightful Select, there has been some inquiry from wrestling companies about possibly running shows at the Las Vegas Sphere, according to sources associated with the venue. So, brand new arena, right, over last year. Actually owned by Madison Square Garden. It's called the MSG Sphere. So I would like to figure it'll be maybe like a WWE or AEW. That's really the only two companies I really can only see. How do you think a wrestling show will work there at the Sphere, and would you want to see one?
I mean, it'd be pretty cool because I was gonna ask because like next year Mania's in Vegas, right?
Yes. I didn't
Do you
put two and two together until you said that. Yes.
do you think they're gonna run NXT in the Sphere?
NXT, maybe the Raw and the Hall of Fame and the SmackDown. I think that's all a possibility.
That I mean, that would be
I think they want to do a first state of the art thing. Yeah, that's yeah. I think that's possibly what they could be doing. It's possibly WWE. Yeah.
that would be pretty cool. I mean, that just seems like something that's made for WWE almost, and that
Yeah.
just seems like something that when they were booking the show in Vegas, they were like, "We got to have the Sphere." Like, I don't care what we do, we got to have that Sphere somehow. So, but yeah, Nick Khan's a master at pulling this shit together. Like people, obviously Triple H deserves the credit for making the shows, you know, as good as they are. But Nick Khan is, you know, the real guy behind the scenes that's, you know,
Yeah.
essentially paying for everything. You know, it's like the scene in Avengers where someone calls Captain Tony Stark the boss, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not really the boss. He's the boss. You know, I just pay for everything and make it look cool." Like that's basically, you know, Nick Khan. He's the guy that pays for everything and makes everything look cool. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. To kind of end it, yeah, that sphere thing. I think would be pretty cool to have a show on.
Yeah. It'll definitely give the proper advertising to WWE, because when they're inside, of course, they're going to be using like the outside part of it as like advertisement. So that should be pretty good. All right. Moving on. This is I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to go down with this, but I figured we should bring it up here. Top Dollar. How you feel about Top Dollar? AJ
Um,
Francis.
I did say on the Summerversary review show last week, not a great wrestler. Probably won't be world champion, but he's getting the heel stuff down. He
Yeah.
knows how to he knows how to talk to the crowd. He feels more comfortable because he gets to be himself, and he's kind of a dick. So, and that's working in his favor. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if, I shouldn't say wrestling wise, but anyway, the terrible segue, but unfortunately, Top Dollar's dog, Gunna, was diagnosed with lymphoma And tomorrow, unfortunately, he has to put his dog down.
Oh man, I want to hear
And
about dog being put
he
down.
yeah, it was a little Roddy, Rottweiler, and he had him on social media today, and he said like today he was gonna make his day like the best day ever, right? So he actually has dog eat like McDonald's burger and fries and an apple pie today, and like he took him like to his friend's house to, like to see like some of like his friend dogs and just a whole bunch of stuff today. There's a thread on Twitter. He has for his popsicle, his pup cup. So like he really like treated his dog to the best day ever. Just like hey, if I'm gonna lose my dog, I'm gonna make sure that he has the best day ever going out. So it's on his social media, Top Dollar social media. It's very gut wrenching as a dog owner. It's very gut wrenching. So do look advertise, but a lot of wrestlers and wrestling personalities and wrestling people within the YWC came out and with support names like Matt Cardona, Jordan Grace, um, just a whole bunch of names. JD from NY. I'm just going down the list here that I'm looking at. Stephanie Hypes, Conman 167, Markswick. I said Marcus White. Minerva, Bronson Reed, Killer Kelly, Lady Frost, Casey Haynes of BuyingSlams.net. Just or Cassie Haynes. So Effie, just giving him support as well. Joshua Gresham, just a whole bunch of names out just supporting Top Dollar during the situation here. So when a wrestling community, I mean, it's like when something bad happens, that's one thing I can say about the wrestling community. No matter what side of the fence you're on, TNA or AEW, WWE, like we do come together in these moments here. So I don't know if you had any quick thoughts about that before we move on.
I mean, as a fellow, fur parent, of a dog and cats, it's obviously sad, just to hear about that. But yeah, just condolences to AJ, man. Just losing a pet is losing a pet's tough, because at the end of the day, those are our kids. I don't have any human kids, I don't plan on it, and I have my fur kids.
Yeah.
So, if anything were to happen to them, I would, be devastated. And, unfortunately over the years I have lost some pets, and it still hurts
Yeah.
when you're thinking about it. So just condolences to AJ.
Absolutely. All right, bringing it back up here. 3 more things here, and I will be finished. Did you see any of Bloodsport from the weekend?
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I want to watch the replay though. But I knew the Creeds had a match. I know MVP showed up and did something with Josh Barnett. But other than that, I didn't actually get to see the show.
Well, yeah, just going over the quick results as far as on the WWE side of things. Julius Creed defeated Matt McCoskey. I haven't seen or heard of him before, but via ref stoppage. Basically, he did that cartwheel takedown with that big sit down clothesline. He gave him like elbows for the win there. So Julius Creed wins his Bloodsport debut. Troy Dempsey, he got tapped out by Royce Isaacs with like a modified STF. So Troy Dempsey loses his Bloodsport match. Then you have Bruce Creed power bombing the shit out of Tom Lawler and clotheslining the hell out of him to get his win there. So both Creeds won their individual matches. Shayna Baszler defeats Mayu Yamashita in the main event of Bloodsport after hitting a tombstone and some ground strikes to win her match. And of course, the MVP showed up and challenged Josh Barnett. I don't know if he's particularly challenging him, or maybe we get Josh Barnett versus Bobby Lashley. That could be something in the future as well. Either or, I am game for. But any quick thoughts about the results or anything before we move on? I got 2 more left here.
He kind of said everything.
Okay, cool. This is going under the radar because obviously, I mean, I didn't hear about this until yesterday, but Ray Phoenix's contract is expires this year.
Hmm.
So
did see that.
does Penta.
Hmm.
So I'll just keep it at that. Not too sure on what their next steps are. If they are going to resign with AEW, it's possible they can resign with AEW. A lot of people that, but Buddy Matthews is leaving. Well, he resigned. What are your thoughts about Ray Phoenix and Penta, and what's your prediction with their contract situation?
Can't really give a prediction. It's just my whole thing is Penta at one point was big. I don't want to say like Brock Lesnar or like John Cena big, but at one point he did have a lot of buzz. He was, a big star in Lucha Underground. He was, a big star in Impact. Goes to AEW, loses all that momentum. And this isn't like an AEW, shit fest, but I'm just pointing out the truth. Penta, I think, does still have some value. He does have an interesting look, and WWE for the longest time has been wanting to find a replacement for Ray. They want to find that next big, masked luchador star. Can it be Penta? Can it be Ray Phoenix? Probably not, but Penta has more of is a very unique look because he's such a jacked guy and he can wrestle. And now you're under the Shawn Michaels and Triple H era booking shows. It's not the Vince McMahon thing. So I think that's very appealing for a lot of wrestlers, is seeing that they can be allowed a lot more creative freedom going to WWE. They probably also don't have to worry about changing their names. Or really their gimmicks. They can still be themselves, and they could go out there and actually work and maybe be used much better than, say like the Vince McMahon era thing. So I think they'd be an interesting addition to the WWE roster because they need more tag teams. Like they're very much in need of more tag teams because they have, because we talked about the women's tag team division. The men's tag team division is not that much better. They still need like legit tag teams. They have a lot of makeshift tag teams in the company.
Yeah, they got the machine guns coming in, so that's one. So
Forgot to mention that.
I think if they do end up bringing in, the Lucha Bros, right? Possibly they put the machine guns on one brand and Lucha Bros on another brand. Possibility. You never know.
It'd be a really fun team, because the Lucha Bros, they do the flippy kicky stuff, and they're an exciting team to watch. In WWE, I think they'll be not neutralized, but maybe they'll be told, hey, maybe you don't need to do as much, so that way you can prolong your careers. Same thing with the machine gun. So, am I chomping at the bit to see him in WWE? The Lucha Bros, not I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I'm their biggest fan, but I think if they really want to get some longevity and maybe make more money and get recognized more, WWE at this point, they're hot. They're the place to be. So, and I also think WWE, again, they need more tag teams. So, I can see the Lucha Bros going to WWE.
All right. Cool. If they do leave AEW, WWE is obviously that, but I could definitely see him just going back to Mexico.
Okay, there's that.
So, all right. Last but not least here. This was announced yesterday. At Marty Gold, Summer Gold Shine 2024. Joya announces that her last match in Japan / Marty Gold will be on August 19th. So speculation has been her coming back, not coming back, but coming to WWE, NXT, and basically Roxanne has just been basically like just naming her and Stephanie Vacure. Obviously, Stephanie, she's had her debut match in WWE. I'm pretty sure she's down. Pretty sure she's down already down the performance center, just kind of getting ready with her gimmick. Well, not with her gimmick, with her entrance and like her, just with everything, right? Before she comes on to NXT. I mean, I'm pretty sure the same thing is going to happen with Julia, but seems like Julia's. I mean, it's not seems like, but she is wrapping up with Japan, and she is coming to WWE. She's WWE bound. So, thoughts about that? Excitement level, anything?
I'm happy. I think it's cool. Again, you know more about this girl than I do, so I can't really say I'm excited, so to speak. I'm more excited at the prospect of they have an established, wrestler overseas, and really the only thing I know about her is that she was like number one or number two, top, women on PWI. So obviously she's good. I'm just really going off what you've told me about her. So I want to see her wrestle. Um I do have maybe like a worry, but it's not that I don't think they're going to do well. It's just that now that you have all three of these women in this company that have, a lot of this buzz around them, you know, how exactly are you going to debut them? Because like it seemed like one week it was Julia who was getting most of the buzz around her, and then you had Stephanie Vicor, who was already having her debut match at Madison Square Garden, and then not was it Madison Square Garden or Mexico?
No, they
Was it
were in Mexico.
Okay, sorry about that, Mexico. And then you have this new girl Delta coming in, so it's just like I'm pretty sure they're gonna use them sparingly in a much better way than I can think of. So like, do you think Julia is going to get the first crack at Roxanne, and then eventually they want to set up a Julia and Stephanie match at like I don't know, a takeover match or
I
a
think
takeover
that's
pay-per-view?
possibly what it's going to be. I think they're probably going to put Stephanie winning the maybe the North American title first. I think when Julia wins, I think she's going to hold this out for a long time.
And what do you see with the that Delta girl doing?
Slow, easy build because no one really knows her here. More people know Stephanie Vakir and Julia. Not really a lot of people know who Delta is. It's gonna be a slow, steady build for her.
Right, because like I think literally the day after we did a show when we were talking about Stephanie Vicor, that's when I just saw Delta. It's like, yeah, Delta's signing with WWE. It's awesome. I'm like, who? like, like who? What now? And then I just saw her. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So again, I'm not I'm not trying to say, I'm the biggest fan. I'm like, I'm more excited at the possibility of what these girls can do because they obviously are very talented because, WWE won them for a reason. They all have very unique looks. Um, I'm just being honest as a guy. I think Stephanie Vakor is like very beautiful and she can obviously work. Julia is very beautiful and she can obviously work. Delta's Delta's not really my speed, so to speak. I've
It's
never
like
actually.
Delta's ugly as shit.
She's. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be
I
mean
mean,
because I don't.
I don't want to go off based off looks. Well, I'm just gonna say, like, all three women. I'll just say, all three women seems like they can work pretty well. I mean, I've
They
seen
all.
Juniors work for a while.
They're
You
all
know,
unique. I'll just put it over. They're all unique and they bring something
Stephanie can
different to
work.
the.
I can care less how they look. I want to see how well they do in the ring and if they are fit. They can look like fucking lumberjacks. I can give two shits. It
No,
does
no, no,
help that they
no.
look well, but
Like my whole thing is at the end of the day, I do and I don't care about looks because I like Zoe Stark. I think she can work, and lately she's been getting a little bit more momentum on TV. She's not exactly, you know, stunning, but that doesn't mean anything to me. But when you have someone like Stephanie Vakor, who's like, wow, she's gorgeous and she can work, that's an added bonus. Same thing
yeah.
with Julia. Delta is not ugly, so to speak, but she's just not my speed. Like she's not really like again for looks department. I know I sound like a pig, guys. I'm sorry, but it's just like I'm a guy. I'm just being honest.
I'm just letting you talk. It's like you got it. You got it.
Justin's like, here's your shovel. Keep burying yourself. No, it's just like again, Delta obviously has a unique look. She kind of looks like Luna, and she's like jacked as shit.
Yeah,
And obviously they signed her for a reason. She's another Australian mommy, so to speak. So, um,
that's
and
it though. That's all I got.
send your hate mail to me. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And that's everything you have.
Yep.
All right, so SummerSlam. Let's end it with this. SummerSlam will be this Saturday, August the 3rd in Cleveland, Ohio, at the Cleveland Browns Stadium. So far, I believe they're almost sold out. And there's 7 matches, which that kind of seems like it's the way to go. No pre-show matches. I know they're going to do a thing for the pre-show where Michael Cole is going to interview CM Punk, and I'm forgetting who else. So that should be fun to
So
watch.
people are complaining about the pre-show being 3 hours long.
I don't know. I don't know. It
People
is
are
what it is.
No, but people are complaining that the pre-show is going to be 3 hours long. Again, the AEW elitists are complaining about this. And you know what, and some WWE fans too as well. I will say that. You know what I gotta say about it? You
Who
don't
cares?
have to watch it. You don't have to watch it.
I mean, are you
Who's
really
gonna sit
complaining
there and
about the
watch it?
pre-show?
Yes. Yes. I mean, you know, I'll go ahead and put in the chat here in a little bit, but you don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch it. No one's forcing you to watch the pre-show. Like,
No.
anyway,
Why are you getting mad about something that's so insignificant to the show?
I people just want to find anything to complain about. This generation is stupid, man.
These
I'm
young
just
people.
saying.
Back in
Jeez.
my day. Anyways, so 7 matches. Let's start off with the bottom. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Seth Rollins will be the special guest referee. I'm interested to see how this match goes because, I mean, we talked about Thea Hale and Roxanne matching up well. These two don't really match up well. I mean, it kind of looks like this is going to be a no disqualification based off of Seth's comments. He's just going to kind of let them do their own thing. So I think that's maybe for the best. Because if it's just like a straight up wrestling match, it also doesn't make sense for their feud because this is a blood feud, and these two want to beat the shit out of each other. So I think it makes sense for this to be no rules, no disqualification, weapons, blah blah blah, and just like a straight up, arm bar, hold 'em kind of match. I think I don't know if it was you that said it last week, but did you say like this could have like a '97 SummerSlam ending?
Well, I didn't say that exactly, but I did mention that this does have it's reminiscent of SummerSlam '97.
Okay, if anyone doesn't know, just look up the end of that match and you'll figure it out. But um, this is obviously a high profile match. This is maybe the biggest match of the show, so to speak. Um, just judging by SummerSlam '97, I can see Drew winning because Seth kind of inadvertently screws him over or screws over Punk. I'm sorry. So I'm going with Drew.
I'm gonna go with Drew. There's gonna be a big storyline to this. Remember, Drew McIntyre has the bracelet, and it's been a big talking point of this feud. And I think at one point, I think CM Punk is gonna be so enraged that Drew McIntyre has his bracelet that he's gonna finally get the bracelet back because that's what he wants. He wants that bracelet back, and eventually, he's gonna get Claymored. And as he gets Claymore, CM Punk clutches the bracelet 1, 2, 3. CM Punk gets his bracelet back only for a loss to Drew McIntyre. So that's why I believe what's gonna happen. Seth is gonna be involved as well. He's gonna try to screw over Drew. He's gonna try to screw over Punk. Then he's gonna play it straight for the rest of the way. So, but Drew McIntyre ends up being Seth Rollins. I'm sorry, Seth Rollins. Drew McIntyre ends up being Punk, and I think this may lead up for some reason. Something's gonna happen in this match where I think it's gonna lead down to Punk and Rollins to rekindle that feud, and I think they may end up being the Hell in a Cell match. Punk and Rollins. I think that may end up being the Hell in a Cell match.
Do you really think they're gonna have it that early instead of Mania?
Okay, so Mania.
Well, you
Let
know
me
what?
ask.
You might be right because the Hell in a Cell match that's in Georgia, that's in Atlanta, and they're going to want to make a big deal about it, and they need a high profile match. So I mean, you might be right. But I don't know. Again, continue. What were you going to ask me?
No, I was gonna say Mania. Like, I don't think they really planned out what's gonna be at Mania as of yet. Like, the only thing they have planned out is if it's like it's either gonna be Cody and Rock or Rock and Roman. It's gonna be one of those two matches. I think everything else they don't have anything planned out yet. I think once we start getting to November, we'll probably start to see a little bit more. You know, October, November, that we'll probably start to see a little bit more. Like, okay, these are the puzzle pieces coming together. I don't think we're there yet for Mania.
All right, you're not wrong. And also, I think Drew needs a win because he's been getting bitched out by Punk. So for the for the longest time that he kind of needs a win to kind of maybe reestablish himself. Because I think if he loses it, not saying bring his stock down, but it's just one of those things of like, oh, Drew just gets bitched out again.
Yeah.
So, and Punk doesn't need a win because Punk is Punk. He's going to stay over, and this just keeps this feud with Seth. To kind of it keeps it more fresh in the people's minds. So, but yeah, Drew's going to win. Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun kind of has to win. I'm glad Braun in the promo on Monday kind of subtly admitted that he got too arrogant for the he lost the match due to his arrogance, which is something I said. He was like, Sammy's a comedian. He has a stand-up show. That's all he cares about. So I didn't take him seriously. This time I'm taking him more seriously. But yeah, Braun's gonna win. I mean, he kind of has to win. But what do you think?
I agree. I think Braun Breaker's gonna win. He needs to win. And but what better way to win your very first main roster title than at a top 2, top 3 pay-per-view of the year?
Agreed. And Braun's a star. They obviously want to make him a star, and he's getting there. Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. Logan Paul being the hometown boy. Kind of have to give it to Knight. I mean, LA Knight's no spring chicken. I mean, he kind of needs to win a title already. They maybe should have. They really should have held off on the match with Roman because I think after that, that's where you kind of saw LA Knight kind of dip a little bit,
I
not all the
said
way
it.
down,
I
but
said it then. I was like, he should not be facing off against Roman Reigns. He should not be winning a title against Roman Reigns. Like now you're seeing like where LA Knight is like he should have been US champion. Like I put it this way, he should have been US champion coming into Cleveland to lose it to Logan Paul. I digress.
all right. So he kind of does need to win this match.
This is kind of ass backwards, this match, as far as like
Yeah,
the way it should have been.
yeah, you're right. And Logan, I don't think Logan needs to be champion. I mean, at this time, because I think we already wanted a title on him, so they put the U.S. title on, which
He's done a
good.
great job. Like,
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
as far as like, not a great job as far as like on TV. Oh, he's one of the best US champions ever. But as far as social media, like he's taking the time with him, like the UFC fights. He's taking the time with him. He's trained it very seriously. So, it's more than I think that anyone of us can ask for. But LA Knight does need to win this match, and I think he is going to win this match.
yeah, to kind of keep him fresh, because like he still gets over with the crowd. The crowd still chants, yeah. He still sells merch, but like compared to like a year and a half ago, like this isn't the same LA Knight. It's that Roman match really did bring his stock down a little bit. So, but this match could maybe be the shot in the arm that he needs.
I don't think the Roman match brought it down. I just think I don't think the match itself. I just think what happened after that, like his booking.
Yeah. Next is you have Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa for the United States, or not United States, undisputed WWE Championship. This match seems like it's going to be very predictable. It's going to be a basic bloodline match. with a lot of gaga. The referee's going to get knocked out. Paul Heyman is more than likely going to come back and reintroduce Roman. Roman's going to spear Solo and maybe take out the rest of the bloodline. I'm guessing. And Cody's going to get the win. That kind of
So let's
seems
talk
like
about this real quick.
right.
Cody's winning. Let's just get out. Cody's winning. Just get out there. So I want to talk about scenarios. So the most popular scenario and the most one that I believe at the end of the day, I think this is what's going to happen. Roman's coming back with Paul Heyman. I think we all agree there for the most part, right? But let's think about this a little bit. Let's go through some different scenarios. Could Roman, Paul Heyman, and Jimmy Uso come back together?
Mm-hmm.
Possibility, right? Do you think that we get Roman, Jimmy Uso, and maybe a debuting Hikuleo?
Maybe.
Possibly, maybe, you know. Do we see Hikuleo come and help Solo? Maybe. I think that Solo's chances of winning this match are higher than what people are thinking. He's not gonna win, but I think his chances are higher than what people are thinking. I'm gonna throw something out there that I don't think is going to happen, but I will say that if Roman doesn't return, I think this is what's gonna happen to have Roman return. Jimmy comes out by himself, actually, and he helps Cody win. No, we don't see any Roman. We don't see any Paul Heyman. This is going to eventually lead to a old bloodline versus a new bloodline match at Survivor Series with a secret entrant of Roman Reigns, and he comes back as the last entrant, kind of like what they did last year with Randy Orton at Survivor Series. How should I say this? I don't know if I would want to see it because that's way too fucking obvious, even more obvious than Randy Orton. But just the anticipation of the unknown could be something like that. They can play something off like, hey, Roman's WWE contract is coming up. They can put something out on social media like, hey, Roman's contract is up, like he's gone, or what. They can do something like that and just have it a surprise to throw people off. That's the way I would do it. But so there's that. Or this is very, 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 very left field. I don't think this is gonna happen at all. But you have Hikuleo and Zilla Fatu come out, and they help Solo win.
No,
that's not happening. But I'm just throwing that scenario out. It's not happening. But
I think Zilla's talented, but he is really not
he's very far from ready. Very far from ready.
If anything, like, because let me kind of like, this is kind of off topic and on topic. So obviously they're going to bring Zilla in, maybe not now, but they're going to bring him in soon because, come on, he's Zilla, he's a Umaga's kid. So I kind of pitched the idea of just having a bloodline on NXT.
No, can't do that.
Just like the whole thing of the bloodline runs and runs the whole WWE. Like have like a mini. You don't even have to call it the bloodline. Just like have like a bloodline-esque kind of group with Zilla, the two Tongan girls, and then Hikuleo.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Why not?
You can't do that.
Why not?
What does that serve to the rest of the roster on NXT?
Again, it's just a mini bloodline faction.
So you're just doing it just because they're there and like we gotta use them and let's make them the bloodline faction.
Well, you can't bring literally every Samoan and Tongan on TV. Like you gotta put them in the performance.
Well, not every Samoan Tongan needs to come to WWE right away either. I think once we get Hikuleo, we're done. I don't think we need anybody else.
Okay, that's just an idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that for NXT. No, not at all. Like it will just be too convoluted, and there's gonna be fans complaining. Like, I'm already complaining about it hasn't even happened yet. Like it doesn't in the long term. It doesn't serve a purpose. That's gonna help that brand long term.
Okay, that's just my idea. but where else are you gonna say about the
Well,
men?
that's it. I mean, like I said, I got Cody Wing. I was just wanting to go through scenarios. Any of the scenarios sound, some that kind of caught your eye or caught your ear, rather?
If Roman doesn't come back on Saturday, which I have a feeling they might just hold off on that because it seems too obvious. I can see Jay coming, or not Jay, Jimmy. Yeah, I can see Jimmy totally coming back and helping Cody win. So that way you can prolong Roman coming back, and you can do like a thing where Jimmy says, Roman's coming back, and then Paul says Roman's coming back, like almost like with Paul Bearer, telling Undertaker, "Kind of," except it's
Yeah,
Roman.
yeah.
Roman's alive, which Roman never died, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Oh yes. Um, yeah, just that seems like a scenario I can see happening for Saturday.
Yep.
All right, but in the end, Cody's winning. Um, Singles match for the Women's World Championship: Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Um, I think Liv's winning because Rhea hasn't been back in a while and she hasn't even has any physicality leading up to this point. So I think there's going to be a lot of Gaga in this match, and Dom is going to be heavily involved for obvious reasons. So I think Liv's winning because there's going to be some fuckery. But what do you think?
Liv's winning, no doubt. Dom's gonna screw over Rhea, and Dom's gonna join Liv.
Yeah, that's
Now,
scumbag
I
Dom.
will say this: one more scenario here. Let's say, because you can't make Dom a fucking babyface. You just can't do that shit.
No,
Not now. Not now. You can't make him a babyface. Like, I don't give a fuck what you say. You should make MJ's babyface role did work out for a little bit until it really got stupid with the whole Joker shit and all that bullshit with Adam Cole. But you can't have but you can't have Dom babyface. So this is the other scenario. You have Dom turn on Rhea, so that way he's still a heel, right? And he tries to go with Liv, but Liv rejects him. And now Dom's by himself. No woman attached to him whatsoever. But that's one thing to look out for, possibly. But I think the safe one will probably be Dom just turning on Rhea and him being with Liv. And it's a whole ruse. It's a whole ruse. And they make out in front of Rhea.
that works better because I think Dom needs somebody to play off of. Because Dom just by himself, yeah, he gets the booze, but you take away the booze, what does Dom have? Like Dom and Mommy, they work so well together.
Yeah.
Dom and Liv work well together too.
I mean, Dom for his craze, he's improved tremendously. And I think he could get heat by himself even without Rhea Ripley at this point.
Yes, but after a while, it's just like he works better when he has somebody to play off of, in my opinion.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I mean, just because he's not no, there's still more to the story too.
I know.
I don't think he's gonna be by himself. I think that we're gonna be looking at a new Judgment Day at the end of SummerSlam.
Yeah, because Finn's obviously involved.
Right.
JD's obviously involved.
Right.
So, Damien and Rhea
Carlito has no idea what's going on, but he's probably just gonna play along with whatever happens.
I hope they keep around Carlito. He's been comedy gold in this. Like, just keep Carlito, please. Damien and Rhea are going to be on the outs because Damien's already a babyface. Rhea's essentially a babyface. So just keep this new Judgment Day with old Liv. So, but yeah. Next is Bailey versus Nia Jax for the WWE World Women's Championship. Man, I love Bailey. She has lost so much momentum since Mania. Like, she just I don't know. It almost seems like they obviously gave her the title for that feel good moment. And I'm glad, but ever since then, she has lost so much momentum. She has been cold, ice cold. Um, again, I don't know what you do in this match. Um, do you give it to Nia? Do you have Tiffany cash in? Like I don't know. I'm assuming Bailey wins and then Tiffany cashes in, and that's how you set up that feud. I don't know. It's one of those things
No.
that I don't. It's one of those things that I don't know, and I hate to say it, but I kind of don't care. But I don't know.
Bailey wins. Bailey wins. By I won't say by nefarious means, but like something that's like not totally clean. Nia Jax gets a rematch. Nia Jax beats Bailey. Then Tiffany cashes in. Whenever that second match happens, I don't know, but that's probably what I think is gonna happen. So, but I got Bailey winning.
Yeah, me too. And lastly, I don't know if this is going to be the main event. I think it
No,
should.
it's Cody. Like if Roman's coming back, what
If
the fuck?
big if.
No, this is your opening contest scheduled for one fall, brother.
I don't know. But Damian Priest versus Gunther. In the past 3 weeks, they have made me care about this match. They've made me care about Damian Priest as champion. He has done such a great job, in the past 3 weeks. Just speaking from the heart, being more comfortable, being more genuine on the microphone, just being himself. And just Gunther has been doing a good job, just playing this kind of shitty, kind of old school heel of just coming out and talking shit, not
Right.
trying to tell you tell you about his childhood or be too pretentious. No, he's just like, I'm European excellence. You people are beneath me, and Damian Priest is street trash. Just doing that, just doing simple things, wrestling 101. Um, I'm gonna say this next month. I mean, not next month. Fucking August is about to be tomorrow. Jesus Christ. September is the Berlin pay per view. The Bash at the Berlin pay per view. Um, I think. Hmm.
Gunther's winning. Gunther's winning, and there's a possibility of Gunther versus Dragunov. There's a possibility. Like,
I think.
I did pitch. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, continue. And I'll get to my
No,
point.
I did pitch at one point maybe Gunther versus Ludwig Kaiser, but I don't think that's definitely probably not gonna happen now because Ludwig's definitely not in that. He wasn't built up during that time frame, so. But yeah, I definitely see Gunther, winning this match and main eventing the German pay per view, Bash in Berlin.
I'm gonna be the odd man out. I think Damien's winning. In my opinion, I think Damien's winning because one thing besides the Bash at the Berlin pay per view, which they're probably going to give that feel good, and I use quotation fingers, moments, Gunther at Berlin. Another thing is they're putting out that doc for Damian Priest, the week of. I think it's either after SummerSlam or before SummerSlam, but I think they're giving it to Damien, the win to Damien. I mean, and they're going to have the rematch at Bash at Berlin,
How
and
does Gunther
there's
get
no one
his
winning.
rematch?
Just ask for it. Pretty much, they're going to give it to him. There's no doubt about it. They're going to give Gunther his win. Gunther can be like, "I didn't take you seriously. Now I want my rematch."
So
I want.
you think that Damien is gonna beat Gunther clean?
I don't think it's going to be clean, so to speak. There's probably going to be fuckery because Finn did tell Damien, I'm gonna stay out of your match," but obviously he's going to get involved. And
And Finn's interference is not going to be enough to um help Gunther win.
I don't know, just something tells me that Damien's going to win, but it's going to be by nefarious means, and
Okay.
that's gonna piss off Damien, and Damien could tell Gunther, "Hey, we had a hell of a match. You want your next shot? You want your rematch? You got it. And I'm gonna make sure nobody gets involved."
So you don't think that the new Judgment Day with Finn Balor being the new leader, right? With JD, Dom, and Liv, you don't think that's gonna end? You don't think that's gonna be the ending to Summer? Not the end of SummerSlam, but like you don't think SummerSlam is gonna end with them as a new group? Because if Damien's winning, that means that we're still gonna be looking at them with him in the faction. That means that Finn didn't screw him over.
I think they still kind of want to prolong this, not too long. Because when is that Bash at the Berlin pay-per-view? It's in September, but it's on. It's actually August 31st.
Yeah. I was saying like it's within the month.
So I think if it does happen, it could end. It could start either before that or after that. So I don't know. Just like I wouldn't be unhappy if Gunther won. I'm just saying, like, I have a feeling it's too obvious if he wins, and they want to maybe prolong that until the Berlin pay-per-view and
I
like
mean,
give
a
them that
lot of these
feel-good moment.
matches are pretty obvious, so probably with the exception of like, Braun Breaker, Sami Zayn, Drew, and Punk. But Cody and Soul to me is pretty obvious. Liv and Rhea to me is pretty obvious.
Yeah, before your world title match, like you don't. I don't know. Just something tells me Damien might win, but if Gunther wins, I won't be unhappy. Especially going into this Bash of the Berlin pay-per-view at the end of the month. But I'm gonna stick with Damien. That's just me. But
Okay.
that was SummerSlam. It's gonna be this Saturday. This Sunday at 8 p.m. We have in the events calendar. We will be doing a pay-per-view review show. I know Soup is going to be doing their thing on Saturday, so we don't want to get in the middle of that. So we'll be doing our own thing on Sunday. We will be streaming live on YouTube. Currently, we're doing a private stream just to kind of get the kinks out. Jeff Lippman should be joining us. I did contact him. He did say he will try to make the show. But all in all, we will be reviewing the show this Sunday. Yeah, that's the show, people. We did an hour 52. Yeah, that's really about it. Shout outs to everybody. Shout out to everybody who does support the show. Friends alike. Um, and then just support us, support our friends, support RJ, the Brooklyn Savage, and Monty. I know they did a show earlier for Brooklyn Power Trip, Ruben Prime. Me and him do Culture Attack. We're going to be doing a new one this weekend. And me and RJ are going to be doing our show tomorrow. We'll be reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine. And Jeff Lippman, of course, support his shows. Of course, Wrestling Soup, who gave us the platform to do this. And John Draper with this show, Spitball Media, which should be tomorrow. And other friends of the show, Kevin Castle, Trez, Andrew Carlick, to name a few. And that's really about it. And then find me on social media, Twitter X, DUI Experience. Instagram, you can also follow the YouTube channel. And then Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, if you want to listen to audio portions of the show. But that's where you can find me. Justin, tell them about Spinebuster Tees.
Yeah, of course, Spinebuster Tees, spinebustertees.com. Be sure to go over there and check out the red t-shirts, including one I'm wearing right now, the Just Enjoy Wrestling t-shirt. Very if I have a company slogan, if I have a company motto, that's what it is, and it is really true and dear to me. So got a lot of different designs on the website, including the hardcore wrestling t-shirt, the vanilla midget t-shirt, the pro wrestling is real, people are fake t-shirts. A lot of great t-shirts on the website for you to check out, get shipped out to you. It takes about a week and a half to get to you. So yeah, good stuff there. Also Spinebuster Tees on Instagram, where I post and promote everything I have going on at Spinebuster Tees inside of Wonderland of the Americas in San Antonio, Texas, physical location where you can come and get your t-shirts, action figures, Funko Pops, trading cards, autographs, vintage magazines, socks, hats, keychains, all pro wrestling related stuff, lucha mask. Have it all there at Spinebuster Tees and spinebustertees.com, and also as well last but not least, I know Drew just mentioned it, but go subscribe to the Drew Yari Experience on YouTube. He is going to be live streaming. We're gonna be doing that every week, starting next week, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, live streaming every week next week. So go check it out. He does post clips of the show on there as well. So just be informed. We're trying to make a community over there, and yeah, I think we're starting on the right path with that. So go follow Drew on or subscribe rather on YouTube. So it's very cool. But that's it though.
Yes, sir. Get those numbers up. Get those numbers up, people. All right, people, we are done. We will see you this weekend, and enjoy SummerSlam. Enjoy wrestling in general, and what else can I say? But have a good weekend, have a good night, and peace out, peeps.
Peace.